Yo guys, welcome back to another video and Happy New Year. Today it's going to be a football roundup video of, I think it's game week 16. I'm not sure.
Possibly. We're in seven. I think we're in game week 17 now.
Yeah, so it's game week 16/17. Then we're going to talk about specific accolades of the year. So, for example, player of the year, stuff like that. For specific, just on its own, 2020, not throughout a season, just 2020 on its own.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm back again with Waddle, Waddley, what are you going to call him?
That's basically my name now.
Yeah, it's basically a name. So we are going to touch upon. By the way, let us know your opinions in the comments. We may forget some things. This is like off the cuff, but yeah, it's just basically going to be talking about top 6 matches first, and briefly talk about Burnley. So
obviously we have to best team in Europe.
Yeah. So Friday night there was Everton and West Ham that were first. It was 1-0 to West Ham.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember the game. Then it felt like a long weekend, to be honest.
Yeah. To be fair, Everton are quite an up and down team, aren't they? To be honest,
they're extremely inconsistent at the minute. Like I watched the game and it was dreadful. Like literally, we rushed back from a walk and got back in like I don't know, about 15-20 minutes in, and then we were just sat there like the 80th minute going, we could have been doing anything else other than watching this game. And then all of a sudden, Thomas Souček pops up and just knocks one in. I'm like, why didn't I put him on my fantasy team?
Yeah, I mean, the league this year is actually really quite close. So Everton could end up finishing the top 4. They could end up finishing mid-table. That's how close it is. So Everton are quite unpredictable. I mean, that reminds me, I've missed someone out of my signing, one of the contenders for signing of the year, and I think we'll get onto that later on. But yeah, Everton, I don't know. I think they struggle to break down these low block teams. And every time they play a team who play a low block, they do kind of struggle without like the likes of James and all that, and Allen. It's because beyond that sign in them 3, the squad is quite thin.
It's not thin. It is now because they've had injuries. So like when James were out, Allen's been out. Who the other one? I think a defender got injured. Well, Seamus Coleman, Luca Dean, all been injured and stuff. So when they're out of the team for like even if it's 2 or 3 weeks, you're coming up against these like they come up against us. I think they had all of them against us, but like even then we scrapped a 1-1. So they have got a history of struggling against that, like you said, the low blocks and stuff. But I feel like James is back now. I don't know how long Allen's got left injured. I think Luca Dean's back in a couple of weeks. Once they've got them creative players to pick like passes through a defence and break it down, I think they'll be fine. But at the minute they are struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they are quite inconsistent. I know Burnley got a draw with them a few weeks ago. I know some lower teams have got some results out of Everton. But yeah, I am sure when the quality does come back through, like James and Allen, and even Michael Keane, because I know he's out, and he's been a big player for him this year.
He's not out anymore. He's back.
Or is he back?
He's on the bench. That's why. He didn't start against West Ham. God, I guess it's Sheffield United then.
But I mean, even West Ham, they've had a great season so far. I mean, I know they are mid-table, but I think they are higher than they thought they'd be. I mean, Thomas Souček, you've got Mikel Antonio, you've got Declan Rice, who I think's had a really good season. I think every time I watch West Ham, I watched them quite a few of the games this year. I always focus on Declan Rice because I never rated him before this season. I thought he was quite an average footballer, but I think he's actually really kicked on this year. I think he's been probably their player of the year because he's stepped up as captain for them. He's done all that. Yeah. They've got a quite solid squad now with Ben Rama coming in and stuff like that.
Well, Ben Rama, it's weird with Ben Rama. He's like I said he should have gone to a top 6 side. I said he were amazing for Brentford at Championship. I wanted him, to be fair, even though he wouldn't really fit our style of play. I really wanted him, but he hadn't been starting for him. Like he started against, I'm pretty sure he started against Everton, and he didn't really do anything for me. Like I didn't notice him much. But Declan Rice, to get onto him again, he's giving me like a Jordan Henderson vibe. The way he's been playing, like over the last couple of seasons, he's always tracking. He's quite a leader on the pitch. You know, he's got that good long ball over the top. He can spray passes. I think he would be. I don't know if he'd work in that system. I don't think he should go to Liverpool anyway. But if he went to like a Chelsea or to a United, I think he'd be perfect for a team like either of those. To be fair.
I think he'd be a good replacement for like a Man United for us. I mean, because he just sits in front of the back 4 and progresses the ball up the pitch, and that's what
Dictates the game.
Yeah, and say he's only young. He's like 21, 22. I think he's our age. I think he's very young in terms of like footballer. He's got a long career ahead of him. I don't think he'll stay at West Ham. I think he'll end up being somewhere like Chelsea or something eventually. But
with Mason Mount.
Yeah, but they have had a really good year so far, and I think it's surprising how like most teams who are predicted to go down or bottom of the table are up there with the bigger teams. It's mainly just down to the like a mad season with COVID and stuff like that, and no fans, and the pressure and all that not being there.
Yeah, it is a really weird season. I'm kind of like, there's a lot of people that I talk to are just not enjoying it and not caring as much. But I love it, mate. I think it's made the league interesting. Like when Leicester won the league, it was just such an interesting season. Like Chelsea were crap that year. You know, most of the top teams were awful. You only had really Arsenal and Spurs, which were like chasing them. And this season, you've got a mix of everyone. Like Villa are doing bits, West Ham, Leicester, Southampton. You know, Arsenal dropping off, although they're climbing back up again now. United are in the title race ish. You know,
we'll talk about that.
It's mental. Like, I love it, mate. I think it's great. Sheffield United getting absolutely dicked every week. It's great. I love it. They've only got 2 points. They haven't got a win. They've now matched, I think, the longest run without a win, like of games since at the start of the season. So I love it.
I do feel sorry for them because I think like obviously
I don't.
I know you. That's down to like, Jack O'Connell being out because he was like a massive part of their defence last season. And if you look at the games they have lost, it's basically fine margins. Like
by like 1 goal every time.
Even when they played Leicester a few weeks ago, they lost in like the 90-something minute, and it's like it's not like they're getting dicked every single week. It's like they're just getting pipped back to a goal, and it's just been a mistake. It is quite unfortunate, but they are going down. There's no doubt about it.
If they don't go down, it'll be the biggest escape ever. Like, just facts. But I'm glad Chris Wilder didn't vote for the 5 subs thing. Now he's struggling with injuries, so fuck you, Chris Wilder. Goodbye. I'm done with that. Get out of my league.
Yeah, he's definitely watching this video.
Yeah, he definitely is. He needs all the help he can get. He'll get advice off us. I'll give him some tips if he wants.
So the next game we're going to talk about Friday evening under the lights at Old Trafford is Man United versus Villa 2-1.
I'll watch it.
I'll start if you want because obviously I watched it.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry if I keep looking there. The Leicester Newcastle games on, so I keep flicking like back and forth.
It's fine. I mean, I don't think we deserved the win. I mean, I thought Villa were the better team. If you've seen the highlights, it was quite in terms of it was.
I watched it. Yeah.
For a neutral, it was been a very good game to watch because it was like both teams attacking.
Yeah.
Defensively. To be fair, I'll talk about our defense in some point in this because, yeah. It was, I think Villa going forward. I think they were the better team going forward. I think they had so many chances. Jack Grealish was my man of the match in terms of the overall game. I thought it was quality. I think United
had so many chances.
I know, but I think United. But you saw Liverpool last year; they had loads of them games where they were shit, but they came out with a win.
Villa last year. I remember Mane putting it in at like 93rd minute just to win it from 2-1. It's like you need them scrappy wins.
I don't think we're in a title race. I don't. I don't want to say it because if I say it, I feel like we're going to lose.
Just hype it up.
And I don't want to. I want to stick with this like low energy. Like, yeah, we're second to Liverpool. We'll just keep going. But Josh, our friend Josh is a Liverpool fan. He keeps telling me we're in a title race. I think he's just trying to take the pressure off himself. But I don't think we are. I think obviously if you look at fucking who's third now? Is it Everton?
Spurs are third at minute.
They're 4 points off us, so it's not like there's loads of teams out of it. I mean, I think we could easily lose a few games and we're out of the title race. But there is a lot of like improvements for United this year. I mean, I think we're getting better as a team, and I think we're getting better as grinding out results than we used.
You're getting more consistent. Your players across the board, I think, personally. Like watching you, McTominay. If we didn't have the best midfield partnership in the league, I would love to sign McTominay. He's so good. Like, it's mental. Scott McSauce getting a brace the other week. I wanted his hat. They got a penalty and didn't let him take it. I was well pissed off. Like, I even had Bruno in my fantasy team, and I was like, let McTominay take it. Like, McSauce. I'm not even a United fan, and I call him McSauce. That's how sick he is. He's a baller. But yeah, consistency is just key now.
It's funny people's like views on McTominay compared to what it was like a year ago. I mean, like I've been saying Scott McTominay is a good player for ages. Everyone's like, no, he's average. He's not. He's a really good player.
He was average.
I think he has improved. I think he has I think that's just down to Bruno raising the levels of people. But I think, I think Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford have been our like. Without them two, we'd be fucked. Honestly, the amount of last minute things they do for us, and obviously Bruno controls the tempo. He controls everything. He demands a lot from everyone, and that's what you need from a title winning side, or even a title contending side, because you need the leaders. And I think that's what United's missed over the last like 10 years is an actual leader.
Yeah, you do need to stop that. I think now Pogba basically said he's leaving. He's got better. Like obviously because he wants to get a move, but he's actually like developed into that side. Because when you've got, I can't remember what they said now, but there's a certain system you play. Like I can't remember what striker it is or what attack. If you face an attacking team that are gonna have runs in behind or something like that, you play Fred and McTominay to destroy them, like to just keep, to man mark them out of the game. Whereas if you want to like be more forward thinking and like attacking, you play the diamond, or the front four. You know what I mean, with Greenwood and everyone, and you sacrifice a midfielder. And it does seem to be working. Like I really like I do. I hate to say it, I like watching United at times. It's actually good to watch, even the games when like McTominay were just on Grealish, like in that game. Those sort of games where he's just like destroying him, just keeps wiping him out. It's just it's entertaining. Obviously, I'm a Burnley fan, so I'm gonna love stuff like that. But it is just pure entertainment for me. I love it.
Well,
And go on.
McTominay got hauled off at half time against Villa because he was so bad against Villa.
Yeah,
dreadful. But like I said, I think we're developing that grinding out results. I think United have always been good at we can smash a team one week and get beaten the next week. It's just get developing that consistency, and I think having someone like Bruno in the team, who's been there, who's a leader, who can develop. I know he hasn't won loads of things, but he is that type of player who'll drag you. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what you need. Like Torres at Liverpool, Suarez at Liverpool, even fucking Mane and Salah at Liverpool now. And I think you need them players in your squad. And I think we will win the league in the next few years. I just don't think we're going to win it this year. I think we still need a few added adjustments. I think Pogba's playing well because he wants to win the league before he leaves. And I think
he does, but at the same time, I don't think he's the guy that's gonna get you a title. He's so inconsistent generally. Like he has been playing well over the last couple of weeks. I thought anyway. Like watching him, he's knowing his role a bit more when he plays, but he's just some of the stuff he does. I'm like, what are you doing? Like he tried to hold it in the corner. Like I think I can't remember if it was a Villa game or not, and he just he did some crap skill, and then that were it. Oh, 1-0 Leicester, get in. Sorry. He just does stupid stuff, which I think if I were looking at him for a move, I wouldn't take him because he's just not. Like the only reason he was good for me at Juventus was he was surrounded by Vidal and Pirlo. They're gonna make you look good when they're in the prime. You know what I mean? But I just don't. I think he needs to move on, and you need to play Van der Beek now. Get him the running side.
Well, I do think that's why he's been playing. I think he's always trying to ease Van der Beek in. I think he's trying to ease him into the English Premier League, or he's just a good squad player, and we might be looking at Jackie Grealish for next season as a Pogba replacement. I don't think we'll get Jack Grealish. I think they're going to overprice him because I think to him he's
just signed a new contract. Yeah, he's over 100 million now.
Exactly. That's what I'd love him at United. I think he's an absolute ball. I think he's elite. I think he's an elite football player, but I just don't think.
You don't need him.
The money's going to cost you. It's good. When you've got Van der Beek on the bench, these you don't really need to pay that much money. Even though I'd fucking love him. I mean, going forward, if we want United to win the league, I think we need another centre back. I think we need I think we need depth at right. I think we need depth at right back for Wan-Bissaka. I think we need at least another defensive midfielder, which we have bought from Ecuador.
To be honest, I think that Wan-Bissaka's his future is at defensive midfield.
I think to be at right centre back, to be honest, in the three.
It wouldn't be a bad shout, but I don't think he'll ever play a three. I don't think he's comfortable in a three at all.
Yeah, I think he does it with Luke Shaw. He plays him with left of a three, doesn't he? I think Luke Shaw's been decent actually this season, but I just think
he's been really good.
Wan-Bissaka's just not. I know he got the assist for Martial against Villa, but he doesn't do it enough. And I think we're looking at Max Aarons from Norwich, and I think he'd be a very good. Do you not rate him?
I thought he's so weak on the ball. Like he's not like if you've got Reece James and Lamptey, Like Reece James going forward, you've got Lamptey who is rapid. He's got such good recovery pace. And then you've got Max Aarons who's he's fast, but he's not that fast. He's an okay crosser of the ball, but he's not elite. He's not a great defender. He's not strong. He doesn't offer that one quality, like that unique thing about him. You know what I mean? Like say you've got different, like Trent has his passing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me, like Wan-Bissaka, is tackling. They all have something about him that there's a standout. He doesn't have anything really for me, and plus he got relegated with Norwich, so.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, also, like, I think we need that depth on the right-hand side. I think we're too lopsided in where our attacks come from, which is always the left and Rashford side. But I think we have got that Amad Traore coming in from Atalanta tomorrow. He actually signs for me. And I think he's very highly rated. I know he's 18. We've also got that Pelestri in the academy who came from Uruguay. He's highly rated. If that Amad Traore comes in and smashes it, obviously it's going to save us money on that side. He's both-footed as well. But I think, obviously, he still murmurs about Jadon Sancho. But I don't think he's coming now, especially with the form he's in at the minute. And I know he's not.
Yeah, he's not been on good form at all.
Not been great. I mean, honestly, I think we've got a good run at the title. I think anyone has. I think it's going to come down to the game at Anfield in a few weeks' time, in 2 weeks, because we've got it after you. I know it's still early because we've got Burnley on the 14th and we've got Anfield on the
12th.
Oh, yeah, we've got you on the 12th and we've got Anfield on the 17th. And I think that'll be a big game. I think because if we win, we go above Liverpool. And obviously, I think it's the two biggest teams of the country. You know what I mean? I think having
Burnley United.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I mean, having Liverpool and United, it's the first title race in my lifetime where it's been these two. There was 09, but Liverpool weren't really challenging. I mean, but
anything could change though. Like,
that's
it's so close.
But Liverpool fans have said that United are a difference compared to Spurs and when Arsenal are up there because they're actually getting a bit of consistency in a run. I think what United have been good at these past few years is in January to December time, maybe going to about March, they have been good at getting these runs together, and I think we can get a run together from January. Well, we are in a bit of a run now. If we can continue it, we can honestly push the title, and I think then that'll shut the people who want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out a little bit because I'm sick of the disrespect he gets. It's a bit. Yeah. He's been learning the job, and I think his substitutions are a lot better. His tactics have getting a lot better. He's just a praise. I know Lampard's been getting a lot of stick recently, but the English media protect him all the time, and it's not fair compared to the job Ole's done since he's been here. I think Ole's done a very good job since he's been here, to be honest. And I think if we give him more time, he can achieve more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Lampard gets protected just because there's a clear project there for me. And Ole didn't come in with I know he started signing youngsters and he tried to change that and do it that way, but there wasn't for me a clear plan for longevity or anything. You couldn't see it straight away, which for me is a problem. That's why. And plus, he's not. I know he's basically a Mancunian, but he's not born here. You know what I mean? So the press will always slate him. In that way, they won't protect him as much because, let's face it, Frank Lampard's a football icon here. So you can't, a lot of the press just won't bother going near him, even if he is on a bad run of form.
I mean, I've said this for years. I think there's an anti-Man United agenda in the press because we are the biggest club in the world. I think it is even with Liverpool. I think when United are doing well and there's nothing to report on, they try and stir shit up. I mean, they're saying United second and stuff like that, and it's hard because there's always negative news about Man United, even when it isn't negative. And I think Frank Lampard gets protected because he's Frank Lampard, not because of the project there. I just think because he's Frank Lampard, he's a media darling. He's one of the best midfielders ever to play in the Premier League. He's English, and they are going to stick up for him. And I think it's unfair because since Bruno Fernandes came into our club, I think we've took the second most points in the league to Liverpool. So I think there is clear progression there. And I think the last thing I want to speak about is Eric Bailly. I think
I was going to mention him.
He
has been class.
If he can stay injury free, he's our best defender. If he can stay injury free, he can save us money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Lindelof and Maguire need him next to him because he's that fast. He can recover for their mistakes and stuff, or even their lack of pace. You are.
He's fucking mental.
He is. That blocking last minutes at game against Villa or Wolves. I can't remember which one it was. Villa, yeah. It was mental. Fair play. He's just mental. But like you say, if you can stay injury free, then He's probably your best defender.
Yeah, I mean, we'll move on now because I think we spoke about United a bit too much.
Just
Uh,
a bit.
we'll move on to Spurs. We'll move on to Spurs v Leeds yesterday when they won. Because Spurs beat Leeds 3-0, if anyone didn't.
Leeds were absolutely dog shit, to put it in a couple of words. They were. I watched the game and they were just absolutely dreadful. Like they created a few chances, but they weren't clear cut. And the final, their problem was they got into final third, and it was that last pass that put the striker in or whoever in. That's what they were lacking. And Spurs were just ridiculous. Like they knew the game plan. They stuck to it. Son were great again. Kane were great. I think they now. Son got his 100th goal for Spurs, and Harry Kane and Son partnership. They're now 4 goals away from equaling Lampard and Drogba's combo in the Prem. And they're known for like one of the best partnerships ever. So I don't know how people can't rate them at this point.
I rate them. I do. I just think I've experienced Jose Mourinho at my club, and a lot of Chelsea fans have. And I said at the beginning of the year, maybe a few games in, I thought Spurs were going to win the league. Not now, because I don't know. I just think when you have Jose Mourinho as a manager nowadays, you can't really sustain that form over a 38-game season. And I think like I said when Man United, different teams require different tactics. And I think Jose Mourinho is so stuck in his ways. I think he's going to play the same system every single fucking game, like he did against Wolves, which didn't pay off because Wolves play a low block. Where Leeds they attack you. So if you're going to play a low block against Leeds, you're going to struggle to break you down, and you can hit them on the counter attack like we did. So I don't think Spurs are going to win the league because I don't think they're going to be as consistent. I just think Jose is just still stuck in his tactics. I think they'll get top 4. I think they'll get top 3, top 4 because they've got the players to do it in Son and Kane. They need to keep them fit. But yeah, in terms of Leeds, I've got a bit of Bielsa, not agenda. I've been talking to a lot of people. It's like I think people who like Bielsa watch football for the entertainment aspect, and I don't watch football for the entertainment. I think if you enjoy watching your football team play, I don't think you watch football. I think I watch football nervously. My team, because like you do it to win.
Oh yeah,
I don't
you definitely are. You want to win.
But if we played the most beautiful football in the world but got dicked 4-0, you're not going to be happy about it. But no
one would.
But like these people who do just want to play good football, you know what I mean? Like I'd play Sean Dyche or Jose Mourinho football, and it means to win the Premier League. I'd do that. But these people out there who just want to play nice.
I love it.
Yeah, but like I watched something the other day. A Spurs fan just wants to like be in the top 4. I think Spurs fans are so like. They're happy where they are at the moment because they've never won a trophy, and there's not much pressure on them to win a trophy because they are where they are. But I think when you start winning trophies, there's going to be added pressure of you each year to win a trophy. If you don't win the trophy, it's seen as a failure.
And I think that makes you better. That pressure improves you as a team.
It does.
They've got. Let's face it. They've got Jose in to help the defense, and then get a trophy because he's a winner. He's proven he's a winner. I can see him winning Europa League. I can see him pushing for. You know, if they get back in after last year, I think anything's an improvement for him. So get into that top 4, get back into Champions League, then maybe do well next year if he's still here. But it is his 3rd season next year, so you never know, he might have a meltdown.
I think as well. Like I think that atmosphere of the fans does seep into the dressing room. So I think if Spurs are like, all right, we're just happy to get top 4, that will go into the dressing room. I think because players do look at social media and stuff, and I think Spurs fans have always been happy to be the bridesmaids and not the brides. They don't like that added pressure of being the main team in the league. I've seen a lot of things. They're all like, we're just happy to get top 4. They hate Jose Mourinho already because of his style of football. But in the day, he's here to bring you trophies. He's not here to like make you play sweet football. But I think Spurs do need to get that next level to be an elite club. They built a new stadium. They want to be an elite club like Arsenal did. But they need to start winning trophies. Like, I do think they'll win the Europa League. I don't think we'll win the Europa League, so I think we're going to fuck it off. I think if we're still in the title race in mid-February, I think they're going to play the kids in the Europa League, because that's what I'd do, because it's just going to fuck you up.
Yeah. It's not like your kids are bad anyway.
It's not, but I mean, we've got Cavani as our second striker, you know what I mean? It's not bad. But, yeah. I mean, like again, if we're competing with Liverpool, I don't want to play on a Sunday when Liverpool play on a Saturday, because then it puts more pressure on you. If you're playing the same day, it's better. But yeah, again, I don't think Spurs will win the league. I think they're going to be a good top 4 team this year. And going back onto Bielsa, like I don't rate Bielsa. I do rate Bielsa, but I won't have him at my club because he plays your lovely football, but he's going to get dicked every week. I mean, they're like middle of the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like he's a good manager to have for a team like Leeds. He's got them back into Prem. Let's face it, they're not getting relegated. The problem with them is that because they play a good brand of football, well, an attractive brand of football, they score a lot of goals and they leak a lot of goals,
Yeah.
which is the problem. They have had a few injuries, but I think losing Ben White to when he went back to Brighton, he hadn't been good at Brighton, but at
No.
Leeds he was great. You know what I mean? Like it was superb. They've lost the captain's been out for the last couple of weeks. Cooper at centre back, so if they get him back, I think it'll be an improvement. They've just got a few areas that are just lacking a little bit. I think playing, even though he's been good, Alioski, who's basically a centre forward at left back. Like when your number 10's playing left back and scoring quite a few goals, I think you've got a problem because you're too far up the pitch all the time, and
Yeah.
he's not an elite defender. So if you get get a defensive minded back four in, you know, because let's face it, fullbacks, even Wan-Bissaka, he's defensive minded. He can put a cross in. Get that back four solidified for next year, and you like January look for a couple to bed them in for next year. Then it's summer maybe get the ones that you're missing, get that set, and then you know, so like Luke Ayling I think is great at right back, or even Stuart Dallas when he plays there. They are good defenders, but you just need that solid back line, you know, that and then they'll be set.
I think they need quicker centre backs as well because they are quite slow centre backs. And when you're playing that brand of football, you are going to play naturally a higher line, and
Mm.
you just constantly get caught on the counter attack. And because their defenders are so slow, quick attackers like Martial, quick attackers like Son are getting in behind him all the time. And I think if you do get these like quicker centre backs, you may start to see him like maybe be a mainstay in the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We'll quickly talk about the West Brom game last night.
it
Notice,
was. Oh, it was great. Arsenal. I'm gonna say Arsenal last night. I watched it while we were on Xbox, and it was such a nice brand of football to watch. It was nice to see him just pack like I saw Bakary Sanya tweeted about him. He said, turned on the Arsenal game, saw a goal from back in the good old times or something like that, or the good days. Nice to see, nice to watch a good Arsenal performance for once, something like that. And I was thinking the same thing. Like they had a really nice team goal that was finished by Saka. Smith Rowe cut it across at the end, and it was just such a nice passing, attacking move. Like you watch it and you think, well, if you're a neutral and you're watching it, you think, what, like they're going to win league the way they were playing. Like it was sick. I know it were only West Brom, but it were a really, really good performance. You know, if you're an Arsenal fan, it brings a bit of happiness back after the last, you know, couple of months of dire football.
yeah, it does, and I think a lot of praise got to be heaped to Mikel Arteta here because I feel like he's had a lot of shit over these last few months, and I think he has been a man about it and noticed his tactics weren't working. And I think if you noticed against Burnley, against all these other teams, he played quite pragmatic styles of football. That's why they weren't creating a lot of chances. And I think recently he's gone back to the drawing board and his tactics have changed a lot. They are a lot more fluid and attacking. And he has listened to the fans in terms of play the kids because
I was
obviously
going to say, yeah, playing the kids is the best thing to do.
because you're playing Aubameyang, Willian, all them lot, Ceballos, who just weren't playing for him. David Luiz, he's gone back to his roots and playing the kids, and I think it is going to work out for him. I think they may finish top 6, top 7. I think they will get top 7. It might be a push. I think against better teams they're going to get caught out. But like I think because we've got them soon, I think we might beat them. I think when they play, what's up?
Tielemans just scored a fucking well nice goal.
A,
Carry on.
I think when they play these bigger teams, they will become undone because they have got quite average players in some positions. Like Lacazette scoring 2 last night. That was like an anomaly. That he doesn't do that. You know what I mean?
To be fair, he has been on a bit of a roll at the minute. He's
Yeah,
got, I think, what right now is he? Is it him or is it someone else? Last 5 games.
it was him. He's got 5 in 5.
Yeah, he got one against Chelsea, 2 against West Brom. Who else have they beat or drawn against? I can't even remember. But yeah, he's got 5, I think, last 5, which is pretty good. Like when Aubameyang's not doing it, you need Lacazette to be firing, or even Nketiah. But at least he stepped up and he started scoring again. But I was really impressed with Smith Rowe last night. You know, he's made that like number 10 attacking midfield position his own these last few games. Like He has to be starting now, for me,
Yeah,
to be honest.
he's that new wave of number 10, like a Phil Ford. Now he's like very one-footed and he's very quick on the ball. I think that's very good for Arsenal because that's the way they like to play. But again, like I said, it is West Brom, and I think in a bit of context, they won't get a lot of time in the box like they have been doing. Like, there was a lot of chances last night where I'm like, what are West Brom doing? You know what I mean? They're giving him so much time. That Kieran Tierney thing, he flicked it past him, comes back.
Oh,
It was a great goal. It was a great goal.
what a goal that is! Like, is he Roberto Carlos or Kieran Tierney? Like, it were mental. Like, I just watched it this year. I looked down. He's bombing down wing. He skins him. He cuts back inside. Chops. Boom. I'm like, what am I watching? It was ridiculous.
I mean, there were times last night when West Brom players were tackling each other and stuff, and it just, I think, yeah, it does need to be put with a bit of context. I think Arsenal will have a bit of a renaissance, and I think they may come back up into mid-table-ish, higher end of the table. And I think when they do face these bigger teams, they may come a bit unstuck because I don't think they've got the quality up front. I know Saka's the best player, but I think when it comes to Aubameyang's been crap this year. I think
it's been awful since he signed his contract.
Yeah, signed that thing, and I think just the midfield's a bit average, like Xhaka and stuff like that. And I think there's going to be gains when they get overrun in midfield. I know they've been a bit in good form, but Chelsea were shite against them.
Yeah, well, to be fair though, like I'm going to say, he said they're unstuck against the big teams. They lost 1-0 to City that were early on in the season. Like, the only 1-0 against City is pretty good. Like, they had generally they were quite solid. Chelsea, they were excellent. I know Chelsea weren't great, but they were excellent. You know, they are getting there, and they do. It's weird. They show up against the good teams. You know, if they beat them, even like I say against City, they only lost 1-0, but you never know. They might be, like you say, a renaissance, and they'll come back and they might push up the table a bit. I don't think they'll get seventh at most. I think if they do any better than that, then fair play. You know, they've done well, but I think there's a lot better teams than them.
Yeah, I agree. Right, we'll leave the games for now because we've actually just halfway through the podcast, when I call it. We're going to talk about 2020 now. It's gone, thank fuck. We're not in that anymore, but it was quite an eventful year for football. Obviously, we had that circuit break in it was like March to June time. But there has been like one half of one season and one half of another season in this year. And we're going to do different categories.
You mean like normal?
Yeah. Right. We're going to leave Player of the Year till last. That's like fitting because it is the Player of the Year.
Fair enough.
We're going to start with Flop of the Year. And I've got a few players down here if you want.
I've got my one. I decided my one.
I've got a few like contenders.
Right.
First one I've got is Willian. Then I've got Donny van der Beek.
You can't say Van der Beek though.
I've got Werner and
but you can't say them either. You can't.
You can. No, of 20.
No, you can't. No. Yeah, 20. Yeah. 2020. Right. They had half a year in the Bundesliga, and they were both excellent.
Yes, but of 2020, I'm not saying they're going to be flops going forward. I'm saying of that year.
I'm saying in this year, half of the year they were great. The second half, they've been adjusting, so you can't say they've flopped yet.
Well, they're my four, and I was going to go for Willian because he's been shite.
Again, he's had like half a year at Arsenal where he's been shite. He was decent at Chelsea when he played.
Mate, he had one shot on target for half a season.
He had his best season last year.
They were all set piece goals, though.
And
he had one shot on target in half a season, and he's on 250 grand a week.
That's not his fault.
No, it's not. But it's still a flop for Arsenal. Right, what's yours?
Aaron Ramsdale. Right, let me read you these stats because they are the worst stats I have ever seen in my entire life. Right, let me find him.
Definitely.
Spent all of 1920 in starting in goal for Bournemouth. Right, all of it, the entire season. Right, he conceded 62 goals. Right, which was the third most in the Prem. The only two to do worse were Tim Krul at Norwich and Ben Foster at Watford, who also got relegated. He has 0 clean sheets in 17 appearances this season. Right, he's conceded 29 goals, and he's on it now. It's for every clean sheet he makes in his Premier League career, he has to do 120 saves. That's awful. That is, and it cost 18 or 20 million, whatever it were.
Well, they came through.
Flop of 2020 by a country fucking mile.
Well, they came through the Wait.
Academy.
Well, they came through the Sheffield United Academy, didn't he?
Yeah.
I agree. I forgot about Aaron Ramsdale.
It's awful. Awful.
We'll go opposite then. We'll go signing of the year. Have you got?
You do one because that's not one I did.
6 candidates, and they did sign this summer. Some of them did, but it's fine. Obviously we've got the obvious one, Bruno Fernandes. And then we've got Thiago Silva, Jota, Callum Wilson, Mendy, and Wesley Fofana.
I think you've missed one.
I swear down, if you say Dale Stevens, I'm gonna fucking...
No, I hate him. Josh Brownhill, what a signing! He's doing better than N'Golo Kante. He's the new Kante. He's Paul Scholes on steroids.
I'm gonna...
He's amazing. Stats don't lie. He has the most interceptions in the Prem. He's part of the best midfield dynamic duo ever.
He's not going in my top 6. I'm sorry.
He's number one. He's my number one, apart from Bruno.
So
I'll give you that.
Wesley Fofana's had a decent start.
Half a season.
Yeah.
Half a season. Because we're saying 2020, he has been decent, but he's not been like fantastic.
No, I mean, if you're going to include Callum Wilson's Bournemouth time as well, he's been quite consistent this year, I'd say. Unless he's been... I can't remember. I don't think he's had an injury this year. I'm not sure.
No, he has been quite... apart from he had one a couple of weeks ago. I think he missed 2 games or something like that, but he has been quite consistent this year, to be fair.
Look at Diogo Jota, who in his back end of Wolves was also their top scorer in the Europa League. He's also started his life quite well.
Barely played in the Prem though, did he?
No, I think it's because they knew he was leaving. I think because he started playing.
I did. No one ever said. Honestly, until he signed, I was like, "Where did this come from?"
He must have kept it quiet, but because he started playing Neto more. But she could have been in my signings. It was quite. He's actually been really good this year. Neto at Wolves.
Could have been your signings.
Yeah, he signed in 2020.
All right, I don't even. To be fair, I thought he'd come through. Not through academy, but I thought they'd like he'd been there a few years or something. I didn't really know about him to be fair until this year.
Yeah, Jota, I think he scored like 8 in 8. Start for Liverpool. I think he scored a lot.
Yeah, he scored in his first 4 Champions League games, I think, or something like that.
You've got Thiago Silva. Obviously, he's solid signing. I think he's really showed up that defence for Chelsea. He also got to a Champions League final for PSG. He's a real leader character. I think Chelsea got the most clean sheets in the league this year. I think, or is that someone else?
That's Villa. Villa got the most clean sheets.
They're in the top half of the table for clean sheets. Then you've got Bruno Fernandes. You've got
Andy Carroll. Check a bow, son.
He scored.
Yeah, go on, lad. Carry on.
And then we've got Bruno Fernandes, who's got the most goal contributions of a midfielder in the league in Premier League history.
He got 32 goal involvements in 30 games? Less than that, 28.
And I've got his stats for this year in the league: 11 goals, 7 assists in 17 appearances.
It's mental.
He's ridiculous, honestly.
He's my FPL god.
He's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, when he's having a shit game, he'll get you a penalty or an assist. You know what I mean? That's how consistent he is. So,
Head merchant.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He's scored more open play goals than penalties this year.
Bruno Fernandes.
So we're sticking with Bruno Fernandes then?
No, it's Josh Brownhill.
All right, we'll agree to disagree. It's Bruno Fernandes.
Well, mine's Josh Brownhill, and then it's Thiago Silva, then it's Bruno Fernandes.
Why is Thiago Silva second?
He's not. He's third. He's third for me, to be fair. But yeah, that's my top 3.
Okay, Bruno Fernandes. We'll go on my camera select on its one. We'll go Young Player of the Year. I've got a few candidates here. I've got Diogo Jota.
All right.
He's 22, 23. Wesley Fofana, who's 19.
Have you got the same ones?
Bukayo Saka. Then we've got Marcus Rashford, and then we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold.
See, are you just doing Prem?
Yes, this is just Premier League.
Oh, I've got loads of different ones in my head.
Just for a bit of context, this season Rashford's got 7 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League.
I just can't call him Young Player of the Year just because he's been around for so long. I know he's still young, but I just can't. Like, it's weird.
He's got 14 goals all competitions. He's got 24 goal involvements all competitions. Just saying. It's between Trent and Rashford for me. I think.
Well, it has to be Trent.
Does it though?
Yes, it does.
Liverpool fell off a cliff since February. They've had a 30% drop off in points.
I don't care.
Since February 2020, Liverpool have not been good at all. We can give it Trent because he's won the league. We'll give it Trent because he won the Premier League, and he got But Liverpool have dropped off massively since February.
I do appreciate how good Rashford's been. Bukayo Saka, another one. I think he has been, considering how bad Arsenal have been, he's been quite consistent. Huh?
He's been the best player for Arsenal. The only reason I put Marcus Rashford in here because I think this is either this year or last year is the last year that he can qualify for this. I think also no one in Europe's got the more goals than him this year or goal involvements than him this year. Than I think the other two is Neymar and Mo Salah.
Are you sure that's right?
Yeah, yes, I am. Or is it Son? I don't know. But there's only two wingers in his position who's got more goal involvement.
Oh right, you're talking wingers, right? I thought you meant players in general. I was like, I think that's wrong.
And I think he gets so much disrespect, Marcus Rashford, and he
goes under the radar a bit more than everyone else. I think, to be honest. But
in 2 years though, last season, this season, he's stepped up so much in terms of his improvement. Like he got over 20 goals last year. He's probably going to get over 20 goals this year, and he's probably going to get over 10 assists this year. It's crazy how consistent he's been over the last 18-month period. And I'd say he's an elite footballer now, and I'd say he will be world class the next few years.
We had this discussion before. We said I personally don't think he's elite yet. He's very good. I do think he's very good, but he's not at that consistent point yet, producing week in, week out and dragging United through results. Like yes, he got the goal against Wolves, but I don't think he's at that point yet.
I disagree. I think he is. He's got more goals this year than the only two wingers in the league who's got more goals than him in the last 2 seasons is Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. He got more goals than Son last year, and I think because he's Marcus Rashford, he won't be considered as elite. But the stats don't lie. You know what I mean? I think he is. He's got more goals than Mane this year. He got more goals than Mane last year, and I think but Mane is considered an elite footballer, and Rashford did pull us before Bruno came in last year. He did drag us last year, and I think he is considered an elite footballer. And in my opinion, that's just my opinion. I think he gets so much disrespect. It's unreal, but I think he's elite, and I think he's still got more to improve on in his decision making. And I think he'll be world class. But yeah, we will go with Trent because he won the Premier League. Manager of the year. There's only one candidate, really, isn't it? It's Jurgen Klopp. All that.
Honestly, can I just say a few stats I found out yesterday?
Well,
I know this is 2020. I'm just going to slip it in here because he's class, right?
And
we were 10th last year. He's had a £52 million net spend over his whole career at Burnley. I think it's a whole career. Last 5 seasons, he's got a £5.8 million net spend per season. He's amazing, and we are going to win the league. Enough said. But yeah, it's Jurgen Klopp.
I mean, I think he's one of the best. I don't think he's one of the best managers in the league. I think he's one of the. I think he's a good manager. I think I said to someone the other day, it's like we can now. He's got a budget. He might be able to play a different style of football. But
300 million they're giving him apparently.
Mbappe 2021. But
I want Diego Costa, me.
Absolute shithouse.
Yeah, he's on the free and all.
I mean, I think he is a top. I think he is a very, very good manager, but I just don't think you can put him in the candidate for manager of the year. I think
better than Arteta.
There's a lot of managers better than
Mourinho.
It should be Jurgen Klopp because he won the Premier League.
It is Jurgen Klopp. Like you said, they fell off a cliff.
They have fell off a cliff, but they still won the Premier League. I think they've had 40% points drop off. Yeah, I know Liverpool fans are blaming it's the injuries, but they lost 7-2 to Villa when Van Dijk were there. They were still getting beat after they won the league when Van Dijk were there, and I think that's a variety of things. I think that's them returning because you can't sustain that form over a 2.5 year period long because Klopp's teams do tend to fall off after a few years. And I think this is just them returning to down to with the other teams. I think they are beatable now. Where a few years ago they weren't beatable. I think them and City were so high up, and I think now they both dropped down a little bit to the other teams. I think since February, I think last year was a bit of an anomaly because they knew they didn't won a league in 30 years, and they knew they were so far they had to keep on going. Where this year they've won it now, and I think they are still the best team in the country. Don't get me wrong, they are the best team, but I think they are just slightly worse than they were a few seasons ago. I think they aren't the Liverpool team that pushed City to 90.
They got to Champions League final on that nearly 100 points and all that lot.
Yeah, I don't think they're that team anymore. I think I still think they'll win the league this year, but I just don't think they're that team that can push for 90 points like City.
Yeah.
My opinion. I just think it's what happens after athletes can't sustain that amount of style.
And the way they press is ridiculous. Like, yeah, they can't maintain that.
What's the last? So we're going to do Player of the Year now, and then we're going to do Surprise of the Year. So Player of the Year, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates. If you've got 1 or 2 more, let me know. I've got KDB, Jordan Henderson, Jackie Grealish, Mo Salah, and Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I think it's a hard one because
I can't give it Kevin De Bruyne.
You are?
Can't give it Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's had quite a shitty start to the season.
Yeah, it's an annoying one. It's like if we're talking just 2020, so the second half of last year, and well, practically the whole season to be honest. And then this year, if we're talking individual seasons, like he was ridiculous last year, equaling the assist record, getting 13 goals on top of that in the Prem. Like
but most of that was done in 2019.
Quite a bit of it, but like a lot of it was done in 2020 as well. Like think about how much of the season were played in 2020.
But I just think you can't base this on 6 months. I think he's had a poor second 6 months in terms of start of the season.
You can't on 6 months. You were doing like Fafana and all this shit and trying to say Willian, Havertz and Werner were flops.
But this is play with the 2020. This is play out of the whole year.
And you were doing flop of the whole year and you were saying basing it on 6 months.
I couldn't think of any other signings from last year, that's why.
Just a hypocrite.
Well, for me, I think it's either Mo Salah or Bruno for me. I just think one of the two. I think no one scored more goals than Mo Salah in the Premier League in 2020.
I think you have to... Jamie Vardy, come on.
Well, he's a candidate, but he's not up there with...
Like, I think it's annoying because Bruno has played the whole year. I found out something really mental the other day.
Yeah,
apart from January, because he barely played in January, he's not won United's Player of the Month twice since basically so February to November. He's only won it not won it twice in that time, which is mental. And he has had pretty much the whole year. And that is his first season basically. He's had the full year, so it's kind of easier to judge it, compared to everyone else.
In February, he's had a whole year. His first game in February.
You know what I mean? It's practically a whole year. But
yeah, I mean, there's a strong shout for Jack Grealish in terms of he dragged that Villa side, and he's so elite.
He kept him up, but it's not anywhere near Bruno, KDB, and all that. He's not on that level in terms of like achievements and stuff in league position. So you can't. But he deserves to be in the conversation for what he's done, but he's not in that elite bracket.
Yeah, my choice is Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, I just think what he's done. No one else has really done before. He's come from a different league and smashed it the way he has. But yeah. I think if I couldn't choose Bruno, it'd be Mo Salah in terms of he won the Premier League, and in the whole of 2020, no one scored more goals than him in the league.
Yeah, I think Jamie Vardy does deserve a mention just because he's now joint. Oh no, he's probably gone over that now. He was joint 20th highest goal scorer in Premier League history at the age of, is he 34, 33? He's at least 33, might be 34 now. That deserves a massive mention in dragging that Leicester team higher and higher. They keep pushing for them Champions League spots, and they're in the Europa League as well. So you can't knock him at all.
I agree. I mean, John Henderson, I see why he's in the shout. He's a good player. He's a good system player. I don't think he's world class. I think he's a world class captain. I think he's a good footballer.
He's world class in his position.
He's in
for that system.
In the system,
but you can't. Yeah, but he's in that system. He plays in that system. You could say that about a lot of players. So you have to go off that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a good. I think he's a good system player for me. I wouldn't take. I think he went to a different club. I don't think he'd be the same player. I think he fits that system.
But the point is, we're judging him off where they're at and how they play. And he's one of the best players in that squad for me.
Yeah, I just don't think he's top 3.
I think that's a bit of bias going in there.
Well, no, because I just said Mo Salah would win it if it wasn't for Bruno. That's not bias.
Yeah, I know, but you just hate him. You hate Henderson. You want to love him, but you hate him.
I physically don't like him at all. Like, I've kind of held off my Henderson agenda, but I don't want to love him at all. Bruno for me, again, he's smashed 2020. That's all.
I hate to say it, but it is Bruno.
And before people in the comments say he's biased, no,
he is biased.
Very biased. It's been a long time since we've actually been a good football team, so don't take it away from me. So surprise of the year, we'll finish it on that. Something that in the league that maybe you didn't expect. I don't know, maybe I'll go first. I've got one off the top of my head. Dominic Calvert, just that I didn't expect him to.
I suppose. Well, I think since Ancelotti's come in, he's completely changed him as a footballer. It's nice to see actually, a young forward getting a chance. Like when Harry Kane come through, he got given a chance and he took it. He hasn't produced for a couple of weeks now, Calvert-Lewin. He's not performing at the same level, but he's still fun to watch. He's been a real bit even back end of last season. He was scoring goals. I think he's probably one of the highest scorers in Prem in 2020. He's a good shout for it. To be fair, he's a good shout. Villa.
Yeah, how good Villa have been this year. I think. Well, both the fact they stayed up in the manner they did, and how good they've been since coming back. I think they knew they had to be good this year because how close they were to going down last year. So I think Villa is a good shout. They've generally stepped up across the board. The defence has been a bit Emi Martinez. I think could be up there one at signings this season as well. To be honest, we didn't mention him, but he's been he's top clean sheets in the Prem. I think still. Matty Cash, really good signing. El Ghazi stepped up. I think he's got five in his. Who scored against you? Traore, weren't it? Yeah. He's been a horrible signing, but El Ghazi's got 5 in his last 6 appearances. Grealish been excellent this year, one of the top creators. Watkins, I think, is a really good signing. John McGinn and Douglas Luiz. Wow, what a partnership they are. They're really good in midfield. Even Target at left back and stuff like that. Mings, they've all been really, really good just across the board. I think they are a shout. Yeah, I do like that Villa side. I think they're very entertaining to watch. Again, leave in the comments who you think's been your surprise of the season. Can't think of any off the top of my head now, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's it, Waddle. To be honest, that's all I've got written down anyway.
Yeah, I had a few more, but they were more overseas because I watch a lot of foreign football, and I know you don't. So
only foreign football I watch is Serie A, and that's about it.
What for Ronaldo?
Look, I'll see what Lukaku's doing. Zlatan. I do like Italian football. It's all right. But yeah, again, if you would have something different to what we've written down in here, let us know. Before you put in the comments, yes. Oh no, we haven't talked about the Burnley takeover yet, have we?
No, we could talk about it another time, but
we'll discuss it on the next podcast. It isn't a big thing. So
it's the biggest news of 2020, 2021. Jesus, I'm gonna have to get used to saying that.
Yeah. So yeah, please leave in the comments what you think you do different. And yeah, we are biased to the point of being.
I'm not biased at all. I don't know what you're on about.
It's the point of being a football fan. I'll try and cut back to you saying Sean Dyche the best manager of 2020. So
He is.
he's not biased, people. Remember that. So yeah. So thank you for watching. It has been. We are going to try and do these every other week. 2021 is going to be a different year to last year. We are going to try and do different types of content, but still stick to the same things, if you get what I mean. So yeah, we appreciate you watching. We hope you've had a good New Year and Christmas and all that shit. And yeah, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Summertime, California sunset on my mind. Feeling too high for my state of mind. It's a paradise I'm lost in a starlight.